Water fasting. It's extremely powerful, but is it dangerous? That's the question we're going to be answering today. Now, water fasting is a strict form of intermittent fasting in which certain days or groups of days throughout the week are designated as water fasting days where you drink nothing but water. Now, the strategy takes some inspiration from intermittent fasting, which has shown some very well documented evidence-based benefits for weight loss, improving your immune system, and significantly reducing your risk for many chronic diseases. However, some of the more extreme versions or the longer duration versions of water fasting, in which fasts can last beyond 24 hours, closer to 48, 72, or beyond, are supported by research, but they can present some serious health risks if you don't do it under medical supervision. So in this video, you're going to learn all about water fasting. We're going to compare it to other forms of intermittent fasting. You can see where it goes a little bit too far. And then we're also going to show you some alternatives to water fasting that can get you some really good results. Finding the right form of intermittent fasting can truly be a life changer. So it's one of the pillars of the Mastering Diabetes method. And I want to make sure that you get all the information. So make sure you watch all the way to the end of this video. So there's currently 3 very popular methods of water fasting, and they include full day fasts, 3-day fasts, and alternate day fasting, otherwise known as ADF. Full day fasting is where there's one day of the week or sometimes 2 days of the week that are separated by multiple eating days. And on those days, you consume nothing but water. You replace all of your meals with just water. 3-day water fasting is a longer duration form of intermittent fasting in which you take 3 days and you put them together to create a block in which you're consuming nothing but water. And finally, alternate day fasting is a type of intermittent fasting in which you consume food on one day and alternate it with a complete 24-hour water fast the other day in a binary manner, off, on, indefinitely into the future. And when it comes to the science, the health benefits of calorie restriction is actually old information. In fact, studies date back to the 1930s from the laboratory of Clive McKay, and he demonstrated that calorie restriction increases longevity in laboratory rodents, which was contrary to what they thought would happen. And they determined that it can actually significantly reduce chronic disease risk. Since that time, there have been thousands of papers that have investigated the effects of calorie restriction and intermittent fasting. And these papers have held true across multiple different species, but not limited to yeast, worms, flies, mice, rats, and even monkeys. So what that means is that calorie restriction initiates a biological mechanism, which is a conserved trait among many species. And that's one of the reasons why the research world is so fascinated by it, because it's very robust. In fact, calorie restriction is so powerful, it's the only known intervention that has been proven to extend longevity. Think of it this way. There's literally nothing else that you can do to increase your lifespan. You can't exercise simply to add time to your life. You can't meditate more to add more time to your life, but you can restrict your calorie intake. And by doing that, you can actually add time to the end of your life. Now, when you perform calorie restriction, your body enters a biological state known as autophagy. And autophagy is when your body switches from oxidizing recently digested nutrients that came in from your digestive system to oxidizing excess glucose, excess fat, and excess protein that's already stored inside of tissues. And that can help contribute to things like weight loss, improved immunity, and a reduced risk for many chronic diseases that affect your vasculature, your liver, your kidney, and beyond. Now, there's a real health benefit to any form of intermittent fasting, not just water fasting, especially for those who are struggling with their weight and people who are at risk or currently living with any number of metabolic complications. Recently, the research of Alan Goldhammer at the True North Health Center led to the popularization, if you will, of water fasting, which is a system in which a medical professional closely supervises patients who undergo fasts for a long period of time in order to help them lose weight, improve their cardiovascular health, and get over compulsive eating problems. In a medically supervised environment, the results that the Goldhammer research team produced were very impressive. And they yield positive results in which the doctors were able to intervene in case there was any medical complication. Now, the question is water fasting actually safe? And the answer to that question actually depends on the duration of your water fast. So if you're performing a water fast that's a full day fast, up to 24 hours of fasting, or if you're putting 24 hours of fasting inside of an alternate day fasting regimen, then there's actually very little to worry about, because fasts up to 24 hours generally present a very small number of complications. And those symptoms include fatigue, headaches, crankiness, digestive troubles, becoming a little hangry, which is a combination of hungry and angry, or experiencing hypoglycemia, which is low blood glucose. However, if you're attempting to fast for anything longer than 24 hours, then we strongly recommend only doing that under medical supervision. So if you're performing a 3-day fast, as an example, please do it only under medical supervision, because the risks can outweigh the benefits. And those risks can include, but not fully limited to, fainting, migraines, dizziness, intense mood swings, hormonal imbalances, hypoglycemia, which is low blood glucose, hypotension, which is low blood pressure, and dehydration. And if prolonged over a long period of time, dehydration, hypotension, and hypoglycemia can become life-threatening. Therefore, having medical supervision is not only suggested, but required. Now, if you're looking to lose weight and improve your overall health without some of those risks, then there's actually 3 other key strategies that we would also recommend in substitution for prolonged water fasting. The first one is switching to a low-fat, plant-based whole food diet. You've heard us talk ad nauseum about this on this channel, and the benefits of eating a low-fat, plant-based whole food diet are proven by research and consistently demonstrate significantly improved insulin sensitivity and reduced chronic disease risk. And we'll talk about that in a second. Number 2, increasing your movement and exercise patterns. That's always a good thing. And that's something that can help you, again, increase your insulin sensitivity and decrease your chronic disease risk. Number 3, combining shorter methods of intermittent fasting with either of those options above. We can talk about that one in a second. Now, if you're talking about a low-fat, plant-based whole food diet and you're looking to improve your overall health or dramatically lose weight and keep that weight off in the long term, the research shows that eating a low-fat, plant-based whole food diet, less than 15% of total calories in fat and high in carbohydrate energy, usually 70% or greater, can have some profound benefits. The most important thing is that the carbohydrate that you're consuming comes from whole sources, from fruits, from vegetables, from legumes, and from whole grains, and does not come from refined sources like cookies, crackers, chips, pastas, breads, sodas, and sugar-sweetened beverages. Compared to other dietary strategies like eating a low carbohydrate diet or a paleo diet or a keto diet, those diets show beneficial short-term results, but they can be disastrous in the long term, because those diets that are low in carbohydrate actually increase your risk for insulin resistance, and that can have some negative side effects into the future. So one important thing to understand is just because you get good short-term benefits from a diet does not necessarily mean that it's the right dietary choice for you in the long term. A low-fat, plant-based whole food diet is the only diet that has been shown to improve your health in the short term and significantly improve your health in the long term, specifically by increasing your insulin sensitivity. Now, another alternative to water fasting is simply to increase the amount of physical activity that you perform on a daily basis. Whether that means increasing the intensity of your existing workouts or adding moderate physical activity like walking or swimming or hiking or bicycling into your daily regimen, or simply counting your steps every day, all of those can significantly improve your metabolic health. The research is very clear. Exercise can help you lose weight, and it can help you gain tremendous amounts of energy. It can help your mental health significantly, and it can improve your bone density by improving the strength of your connective tissue, including tendons and ligaments, as your muscles become strong. Exercise can also reduce your chronic disease risk in the long term, but unlike intermittent fasting, exercise won't necessarily add time to the end of your life. Now, finally, the third alternative to long duration water fasting is simply intermittent fasting, but doing it on a daily basis. We are big fans of performing a 16-8 intermittent fast on a daily basis, which is 16 hours of fasting followed by 8 hours of eating. And when you do this, you end up skipping 1 meal per day, which ends up reducing your calorie intake for the day by approximately anywhere from 250 to 500 calories. And that calorie deprivation can compound over the course of time without making you feel like you are excessively hungry. And when you do this, you can significantly improve the condition of your vasculature. You can lose weight and keep that weight off permanently. You can improve the function of your liver. You can improve the function of your kidneys, and you can reduce your risk for many chronic diseases. We've seen this thousands of times over, and that's one of the reasons why we are such huge fans of a 16-8 daily intermittent fast. Now, if you're to summarize this entire video into one succinct statement, it's this. The name of the game is very simple. Simply find a way to induce a negative calorie balance on a daily basis. And that means that your calorie intake is less than your calorie expenditure. If you can create a calorie gap, that means that gap can compound over the course of time, leading to significant metabolic improvements in many tissues, as well as an increased ability to lose weight and keep that weight off permanently. And by doing so, you can significantly improve your health without any of the negative side effects coming along for the ride. Now let's go back to water fasting, because that's what this entire video is about. Again, short duration water fasting up to 24 hours, perfectly safe. Anything beyond 24 hours, we highly recommend getting medical supervision for that. As long as you can follow those simple guidelines, you are bound to set yourself up for success and significantly improve your overall health. If you're interested in performing intermittent fasting on a daily basis, maybe you're living with some form of diabetes or high blood pressure or are overweight, and you want help doing so, then look no further, because the Mastering Diabetes program is here for you. We have a coaching program in which we help people significantly improve their health, specifically by targeting insulin sensitivity, which is the reversal of insulin resistance. If you want to learn more about whether you're a candidate for the coaching program and whether we can help you transform your health, then we have a wide range of programs, from group coaching to private coaching, and some of those may be able to help you out. All you have to do is click on the link below to book a discovery call, masteringdiabetes.org/start. Go to that URL, fill out an application, and get on the phone with a real human being to determine whether or not this is the right step for you. I think it could be, and the power is in your hands. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.